is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, for each and every Friday/Saturday/Sunday discussing all things games. I am your host, Jarrell. With me is my co-host, Arthur Thomas. What's shaking, my guy?
I think the only thing that's shaking is my lime that's currently in my Modelo. What's going
Well,
well?
it's funny. I said that through a burp. I was like, because I ate like some Indian food, so like I had to burp that out.
I like how my half mic check was earlier was a burp because what I was going to say was, Darrell, can you hear me? Like a functional human being. What came out was a burp, and I see you pop up. I see your head pop up. I'm like, okay, I think he hears me. I
was like, yes.
I will say, fun fact. I don't know if this is a disappointment or pride, but I think I'm the only guy at my local liquor store that buys Modelo Tall Boys.
Oh, nice.
I will say I don't buy them frequently. I'm, like we were talking before pod. I drink significantly less for different health reasons, and I'm in a better situation. So I'll phrase that. Yeah. But it is interesting. I'm like, again, like Southern California guy out of Midwest. So I'm like, hey, you see me? Keep the Modelo stocked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good tall boy beer for sure. And then oh yeah. And then unfortunately, Church couldn't make it here. He's a busy man, about to get married here very soon this month. Shout out to you, sir. The seat is ready for you whenever you're ready. So of course, don't busy guy, we understand. We'll catch you next year.
Congrats, and sorry to all them fucking homewreckers that man's taking.
Take a number, bitches.
That number is get the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true. There is no number on that piece of paper.
Follow me. Oh, I'm walking to the butcher. It's my turn. Can you pull my number? Fuck you. Ah, shit. It's like that. It's like, well, let me see what my number is. Homewrecker. Fuck.
So with that being said, last episode here of the year. But if you are watching this, hello, be sure to like, subscribe. Please, guys, subscribe. Hit that button. If you've watched, we have over 200 episodes or 200 videos here on our channel for the YouTube. If you've watched any of them and have enjoyed them, do us a favor, subscribe and like the videos. Get us through the internet because that's one of my goals for next year for Gamers for Life. We got to get some exposure going. Obviously, a part of that is us being consistent, but also your part is to subscribe. So be sure to do that. And also, Arthur manages the Twitch stream, or not the Twitch stream, the stream of the YouTube. God damn it!
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Okay.
Same channel. I'm talking about the same channel.
It's the red app, not the purple one.
Right.
Yeah, it's not Space Cock Rocket Bezos one. It's the other one whose CEO, whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah, so the YouTube, he does these streams on there. So definitely check those out. And of course, there's our audio episodes at the podcast application of your choice. You can also follow us on the app that you choose. And everything else, go to linktree.com/gamers for life, the one-stop link to all of our things, including our TikTok, which we've been growing bit by bit. It's been really fun to make. So definitely be sure to, once again, linktree.com/gamers for life. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode when there is a time code. Or you can just hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And before we go through, go ahead.
I was going to say after that, with time codes, editing is hard. We have full ass jobs. This is this is a side thing. I'll say that. I feel like it's like, oh, what's with these guys? This is a side shit. Like if you're, this is we have full ass jobs.
Right, and imagine like this is a side thing, and we have a gang of content on the channel.
We try. And it was funny. I don't know why when you're doing the normal housekeeping and you're like, please subscribe to help us grow. I'm like, yeah, because here's the thing. This is just me, and this is a side tangent, and I feel like it's a topic. Drill, is it just me, or this is just me, but do you lose respect for like a streamer when they overly fucking react to shit? Like, dude, when a gamer plays like Dead Space Remake and they like leave the room, I'm sorry. Like, we've all played Silent Hill. I remember playing Silent Hill fucking at midnight on a Friday night with local Double or Nothing Pizza. I don't know if they still exist. If you're in Ontario, California, look up Double or Nothing. They still exist. They were fire in like 1995. I know they're still fire now. But, and I remember playing
They're fire in the 90s.
Like, yo, fucking 1985, Double or Nothing Pizza, Ontario, California was the shit. Because it was called Double or Nothing Pizza, because they always had like a ×2 deal for everything, like a Double or Nothing like wing special, double or like they had that was their whole shtick. Their whole shtick was like, you get 2 of something, a 2-liter Coke combo, a 2 fucking wings combo. But what you did a Double or Nothing Pizza off, I want to say it was it was Roosevelt or 4th. You know how towns have that street that just the street changes, whatever. And they're going down memory lane. And yeah, so what I'm saying is streamers that like, I don't know why it's just me. Whenever I see clips of streamers just like leave the fucking room because they're playing a scary game, I'm like, I don't fuck with you no more. You know what I mean? It's like, because when you're with the homies, like real talk, like when you play scary games, you're like, oh shit, oh, that got me. And we're moving on. You know, there's no like half-hour fucking clip of like a 2-second jump scare. But I don't know why that was just
there's a lot of people that really they bait the subscribes and other reactions. They really act. They're basically like an acting school, and they act all that shit, just to get the engagement up and all that shit. That's not us. If you're looking for that, that's
no. Sorry, I don't fucking follow. I don't have my camera on also because I don't feel like it. Just real talk. I don't fucking feel like doing that. But no, you don't fall my chair like, oh, it's up scare. It's Freddy Fazbear. Let me shit my pants.
Man, that's not.
Yo, chat, do you smell that? I just shit my pants. Like, chat, I did duty. Yep, chat, I got doo-doo in my pants. I gotta go. Sorry, I don't know. It's a side tangent, but I feel like the age of popular streamers and overreactions defined what it meant to quote unquote play a game. And if you're like a gamer and you watch, if you're young, can you imagine being like a young, just genuine enjoyer of games?
I have a whole list of things we need to talk about.
I'll say that. I'll end with that, Drill. I'm just saying, I don't know why, but you said that. I just want that to run up like overreaction streamers. I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that.
I agree. No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. It's funny because I feel like we do this because we're passionate about it, right? So it's just like, I think that's why we have a lot of content, because it's like, this is our thing. This is how we met in general as far as games and whatnot. And the biggest like crazy reaction was a very real reaction when we were playing Gears of War.
The wall came alive in Gears of War. That doesn't happen in Gears of War, okay? That was a genuine.
That was real, 100% real, and not acting, and we were cracking up. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you get the real deal here.
Well, you get the real deal, and there's nothing more on brand than Drill trying to start a positive conversation than me going, hey, Drill, do you ever think about blank? So, as always, on brand, I do a tangent of like, hey, do you ever have a thought that comes to your brain? You want to talk about that? I just have a thought coming to my brain. Let's talk about it. But no, Drill, I'll let you get to it, please. What's going on in the world of this week?
We absolutely have a moment where we can reminisce. It's just at the end of the docket, but we will get there. Later on. Yes, later on. Really quick, as like an asterisk or a preface before we start on with the shit. So Epic Game Sale, even though the Epic Game Store, they've said publicly like they haven't profited in like years, right? And me talking about PC, saying fuck PC, Xbox, all Xbox, and I'm still that way. However, I did have that remaining credit that I couldn't convert to cash because Epic is a bunch of assholes. But there is a sale right now with a bunch of games, and I actually was able to get Alan Wake 2 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor for like under $55.
Game of the Year nominee, Alan Wake 2?
Oh,
hey.
pretty crazy. And then it came with a code for the remaster of the first one. It's like, oh, that's cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. So for the PC, and once again, that requires me to turn on the PC, which I don't know if I will do anytime soon. But I do own the games technically. I just have to decide when I want to play them. So I was like, you know what?
Drill.
Let's do that.
Drill, I'm sorry to break it to you. You own the license.
I own the license.
You own the license to that game.
That's right.
No, you don't own shit unless it's physically in your hand.
Yes, sir.
Which a lot of PlayStation owners realized when it came to a bunch of TV shows. Oh, you bought season 8 of Dora the Explorer? Nah, go fuck yourself, my guy.
And if you're not sure what Arth is referring to the recent news of them pulling just basically just saying like, hey, all the things that you bought from VideoWise for this point in time, they're going away, and sorry, like it's kind of crazy.
No refund, sorry.
No refund,
like
sorry.
There's an actual sorry, then there's no refunds, kind of sorry. It's the second one.
I was surprised no one is actually sued for that, because that is like, you should be able to really get money for that. Like that's like pretty
well.
You know.
That's why fine print exists.
Who knows? I don't know.
If the day comes we choose to remove this, too bad. So sorry.
Perpetuity.
People bought entire seasons of a show. Too bad.
Too bad. Speaking of too bad, E3.
Oh, fuck, dude, that was such a good, horrible segment. Fuck you, dude. Like, that was accurately painful. Fuck you. Too bad. E3. Yup. That's
so originally there is a very similar news story earlier this year that we were covering, and it was basically saying that E3 was not happening this year, right? And we talked about it, the storm about it. We're like, oh yeah, it's not happening this year. You know, that sucks. When will it happen? We'll see what happens. And then E3 earlier today, they said, hey, we're just done, period. Not just like we're going to do it next year, the year after that, the year after that. We are no longer doing these. And, you know, originally, at first I was just like, oh man, that sucks. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I've had more E3 experiences now on Jeff Keighley's platforms for the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest. He kind of replaced E3, you know, at this particular point. So while it does kind of suck as far as just like, you know, we have those memories, Arthur, as far as like the different games that were announced and things like that, and making fun of all of the things when it came to just lizard people or just terrible scripts or just Todd Howard saying some dumb shit. You know, now we have to do that for the Game Awards for Jeff Keighley. So you know, in Jeff we trust.
Help us, Obi-Wan Keighley. Your only hope.
Any thoughts? I know we've had some good times for E3.
It's I don't know. I almost feel like I've adjusted to it because E3 hasn't been E3 since the pandemic. But even before the pandemic, you know, E3 was really changing. So it's like a mix of it is what it is. And it's been ongoing because, again, I feel like E3 has been like, you know, quote unquote canceled the past few years or hindered or not been a real thing. And it's unfortunate because I want to say the last true E3 kind of actually fucking sucked. Like, wasn't the last E3 where Gearbox had a showcase of Randy Pitchford just shoving a mic in everyone's fucking face?
Man, that was really bad. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Hart, people like you say fucking words in this language.
and I've yet to see a real trailer from that movie too for the Borderlands, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like one, the pandemic would affected it, and two, I'm probably there's a strike. Or, you know, WB did a write off if they were fucking involved.
I think all of those are true.
But it just, I mean, it's weird because here's the thing. For all you youngins, for all you kiddos, E3 was actually never meant to be for the public. It never was. E3 was a showcase for investors. E3 was a very glorified like a stockbroker meeting of like, hey, you invest the money into our stock. Here's why we think you should continue to invest more money into our stock, and tell your friends to invest more money into our stock. That's what E3 was. That's what E3 was in its origin. And it was a big deal when E3 went like public, not like on the stock market, public, but E3 became like a public event for the fans. So that became an area where like, investors can see how much the public and its customers and its, its customer base, its bottom line was reacting and invested into their product, and into how much the customers were excited for their investment. And it grew and grew and grew to its thing. And then in the latter half of its years, a lot of people, including Jeff Keighley, called it out for all of its weaknesses. It became bloated. It became overpriced. Towards the year's end of like E3, there's companies saying like, we just either A, can't afford this, or B, we don't think it's worth it because of how much it costs to be there. E3 was at the LA Convention Center next to the now named Microsoft Theater, which was very, I think, hilariously, ironically named. And it sucks that I can say I will never get to go to an E3, but I understand companies that pulled out, and I don't hold it against them. I'm not angry at the companies that pulled out of E3. I'm more upset of how E3 was organized. E3, it was like a glorified ad space. You know what I mean? It's like a Super Bowl. It's like the Super Bowl. It costs millions of dollars for like 30 seconds of airtime. And it's not apples to apples, but that's kind of what E3 was. E3 was like giant ad space in person of how much money are you have to pay to have a fucking booth and have all this shit at the LA Convention Center and LA County, the land of taxes, the land of fees, and the land of fucking overpricing. It just is what it is. So, and like I said, a lot of people like Jeff Keighley fucking called out about this. Like when E3 was like first canceled a few years ago. I think it was like 2022. I'm just throwing a number. Like, Jeff kind of threw a tweet about that of like, Jeff Keighley met with the people that run E3. He was like telling them like, this is going to happen. Even pre-pandemic, this is going to happen. But knowing that he sees the potential and the importance of these in-person events, for these industry events to have people come in, gather as a collective to celebrate one another, it still has to be had. And so it's like, put this way, Jarrell, if the Game of the Year awards and Summerfest weren't a thing, I would be more upset about this news. But knowing that Jeff Keighley does have these events like Summerfest, like Game of the Year awards, I'm kind of content. I'm not like super fucking ecstatic about it, but I'm kind of content, and I can kind of accept that because E3 is canceled, I feel like Summer Game Fest and the Game of the Year awards are going to be that much more important, because now these will be some of the only few true in-person gaming events, like other than PAX, other than EVO. And that's what I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see EVO step up, by the way, who's owned by PlayStation, by the way. Like I said, E3 was next to the Microsoft Theater. PlayStation owns EVO. What can PlayStation do to elevate EVO because of this? What can PAX do to elevate its presence because of the gap that E3 has left? What will Jeff do with Summer Game Fest and the Game of the Year awards now that E3 is officially done? That's what I want to see.
No, I think those are great. Those are very valid and good points that you make as far as how they can evolve this, since how E3 is done so. And I do think I agree with you too as far as with Jeff Keighley, him really seeing like, okay, we're just gonna have this big E3 thing. We're gonna advertise that there's this E3 thing. This is before it was public, and to say we're having this E3 thing, it's about games, and we're not gonna do anything for the gamer, the people that are actually buying these games. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? So and then he was called crazy, about all that stuff, and was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, blah blah blah. You know, we don't know, we can't make money from that, blah blah blah. But you know, clearly Jeff was like, okay, clearly you can, you know, and yeah, I'm glad that he kind of
Watch me. Sorry.
exactly, yeah, hold my beer,
That was
right?
Jeff. Says fuck. Oh, you can't do this. Fucking watch me.
Yeah, watching me, you know. So, and the fact that they are done, you know, just really proves his point, you know, as far as for why they should have focused on the gamer to an exceptional degree, you know what I mean, versus just having this announcing this thing that people can't go to. Like that doesn't make any sense, you know. So, as far as for Jeff Keighley, you know, he has a heavy weight on his shoulders, but when it comes to the numbers, I mean, he's been it's been flourishing, you know. So I was going to read this link here from Video Games Chronicle, talking about the Game Awards as far as the viewership is continuously growing and gone up and better than the year before. So it says the Game Awards breaks a viewership record with 118 million live streams. It says the figure was up 15% on 2022 show and marks the 9th consecutive year of growth. You know, so clearly people clearly when it comes to a need for something like this, Arthur, especially when it comes to just the art of the game in general, that people pay attention to this shit. You know what I mean? People pay attention to it. It matters, and people want to see these games be awarded. We want to see these games being celebrated, and people want to watch it. And those numbers speak for itself. Those numbers speak, you know, those numbers are very important. You know, very important, and it confirms the interest within games. You know what I mean? It kind of confirms everything that it confirms everything that the that E3 was trying to pretty much say that was, you know, sorry, that wasn't existing. So it says the viewership was up 15% compared to 2022, compared to last year. Did I say something wrong?
What was the number there again? Like the actual like viewership number for the Game Awards this year?
Oh, so it said viewership record with 118 million live streams.
118 million live streams? Joel, how many people do you think watched the Oscars in 2022?
Probably less than 100,000.
So over 100. Oh, as I hit my mic, over 100 million people streamed the Give Me the Awards in 2022. Viewership of the Oscars 16.62 million.
Wow.
16.
Yikes.
As
wow.
The director of, you know, It Takes Two said, you know, fuck the Oscars. Dude, and you were pulling those numbers compared to the, you know, the Oscars. And again, like I said, people like, you know, why is Arthur like, oh, Jeff Keighley we trust? This is why. The numbers are there. Whether you like or not, numbers paint a picture. And the picture we're being painted says Jeff knows what the fuck he's doing. And I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do next following this, you know, these fucking announcements.
Exactly. Now, I do want to talk about something that is kind of on the contrary, because there was, while the success of the Game Awards, and we talked about last episode, obviously, Arthur, as far as for, you know, the Game Awards, I had a great time. I thought it was great. That was fantastic. There were some people that had some qualms. And I wanted to just talk about it just because it was such a big thing that happened that people were talking about earlier last week. Whether it's you know, like relevant or they have a point, you know, obviously we can talk about that. But I'll just read a little bit of this. This is also the Video Games Chronicle. It says, to your title of the article, the Game Awards was one of the best, but it should do more. It says 2023 delivered a typical blockbuster show, but saved little time for developers. So it says with the E3 officially dead and publishers seeming retreating from the in-person scene, Game Awards is now on its 10th year and undoubtedly the biggest consumer event in the industry. It says, however, while Thursday's Los Angeles showpiece delivered a blockbuster cavalcade of game reveals and celebrity appearances, many have voiced frustration for an event that has become integral to the industry calendar. It didn't spend enough time highlighting the issues and people behind the games it celebrates. Says, to be clear, I thought this year was one of the best hosted by producer Jeff Keighley has put out, especially within the mandate of what it's designed for, to appeal a broad audience or consumers. Let's see. From the off, TGA delivered a conveyor belt of genuinely brilliant surprises and huge exclusives that included some stellar, great appearances from developers, celebrity alike, and some of the best live performances ever done. This is what the Game Awards is good at, and it did it extremely well. And unlike the constricted pandemic release schedule of recent past, 2023 shows had genuine competition and anticipation in each awards category, with arguably any of the main of the Game of the Year nominees deserving to walk away with the angel-shaped trophy, not Spider-Man 2. As is often the case with the TIFF
I'm gonna take a guess that last part wasn't actually in the article.
Maybe not. No, that was me. It was let down by an overly lengthy runtime, some curation issues in the latter half for me, and most of the games shown merged into one by the end. It's clear the Game Awards is still an event trying to do far too much, with the actual awards frequently letting loss in the glitz and fanfare. But as its curtains close, I shuffled through the protesters outside downtown LA's Peacock Theater. I was reminded that to properly acknowledge and authentically celebrate the games industry, TGA faces bigger challenge than deciding on how many next on anime games is too much for a 4-hour live stream. Let me continue a little more here. It says 2023 has not been an incredible year for game releases. It's also been a downright awful year for video game creators and thousands of layoffs across the industry as corporations appease their shareholders. The Game Awards didn't reflect that, and as the industry's premier event, I think it should have been. It might only been a matter of part of the audience. It says the Game Awards is still an event trying to do far too much, with the actual awards frequently getting lost. End quote. So I think this is the thing. It's an award show. You know what I mean? So while I do understand, yes, obviously we've talked about as far as how crazy, these layoffs have been, right? Yes, absolutely. You know what I mean? And then yes, that might be a point. Maybe there should be a segment of a little bit of a little just acknowledgement, right? Acknowledgement around it. Maybe Jeff Keighley's
in memoriam. These publishers and developers. Sorry, I know that's like off taste, but I don't know why that's what that's.
No, but I was thinking about that too.
This year we lost Embracer Group.
No, I mean, to something a little more tasteful, but no, I was on the same. I was thinking about that too, as far as like maybe a moment where him to really address like, hey, the game industry can do better with with all this stuff going on. Obviously, on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Game Awards is a business now. It's not just some creative thing. There's sponsors, there's other businesses, there's advertising stuff that he's doing to get this shit off. This shit ain't free. This is how the Game Awards is getting paid. So we can't have this 4 to 6, 7 hours of everyone wanting to speak their mind during an award ceremony. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. It's an award show. And then you can't say that there wasn't enough for developers when the games that those developers worked the developers worked on those games and they won shit. So it's like, we can't celebrate every single developer for every single game, but the games are winning. You know what I mean? So that has to show for something. And then as far as for the layoff loss, I agree with that. Maybe there should be kind of a segment as far as this, that isn't going to shake up too many trees, corporate wise, where you can still pay the bills and you have the show go, but just acknowledge it in some way, shape, or form. So I get that, but you can't have it. There's always going to be someone who's going to be disappointed in something, or that wants more of what the Game Awards should be. Like, that's not the game. Like, these are the Game Awards, guys.
Spoiler, you can't have everything all at once.
Right. Exactly. I'm like, this is an award show. This isn't a fucking soapbox channel, So, but yeah, like, for example, the one thing that I think that, I will say, for someone who's winning, who is say game of the year, right? I feel like those folks who win game of the year, they should have extended time. You know, because like you won the fucking game of the year, they should have extended time. I do think they should adjust that because the Baldur's Gate guy, he wanted to get his shit off. He didn't really get to. He had the wrap it up music coming up, so he continued his speech on Twitter, online, you know, of really addressing everything, and it was a really nice speech and whatnot. So I do think they can adjust that for a game of the year. 'Cause game of the year, it's like, yo, this is game of the year. Like, give the guy an extra 5 minutes or whatever it is. Like, it'll be worth it. Trust me. Um, but yeah, other than that, man, it's like, look, we have to be realistic with this. You know, there are other platforms where people can talk about this. There can be a slight acknowledgement, but this isn't some soapbox fest. Like, this is an award show. This is business. There's things that have to get done and go by. Sorry, it's like I was pissed. Slight soapbox. Sorry, I was pissed where the fucking Grammys they would announce the rap awards during the commercials. They wouldn't do it during actual airtime.
What? You're upset the Grammys for filing? You're upset the Grammys for finally acknowledging rap 49 years later? What the fuck?
Right?
No.
It's like, but like not on live television during commercial breaks. I'm like, that's fucking offensive. You know what I mean? Like, it's incredibly offensive. So it's just like, look, I understand, like, it sucks that not everyone can be acknowledged for his game, for the developers, longer times, and all that stuff. But it's like, we have to be realistic some way, shape, or form. And this isn't nearly as worse as that. That's maybe my point for bringing that up. But what are your thoughts on that, Arthur?
First off, name an award show that does better. Like,
right. Yeah.
It's like I didn't experience euphoria. The amount of dopamine my brain put out during the show wasn't to the levels of my acceptance. I see. Okay, look, I'm not saying the award show was perfect. I'm not like, fucking like kissing Jeff Keighley's giant fucking shoes that he didn't wear this year. But again, it's like, oh, what? You're sorry this, oh man, I wish I could have watched the Oscars. Like, no. And so again, it's like, what, who are you? So when you say, like, oh, they could have done more, they could have done different. Okay, give me a fucking example. Now, look, the Game of the Year awards, Baldur's Gate 3. Let's talk about it. It's not great. There is an image. There is footage of them saying, please wrap it up, while the guy is talking about those developers that kind of passed away while this game was being worked on. Not great timing. But to the people that are mad of like, wow, they said, please wrap it up. Real talk. Tell me you've never been in management without actually telling me you've never been in management. There's fucking deadlines. There's fucking time limits. I'm sorry. Like, I think my first experience where I was criticized of giving something too much time was I think in 2007, when I was hosting an event, and they're like, man, that Arthur, that dude talked way too long. We needed to cut him off. That's just the way life works. And here's the thing. I don't know what the venue was, but as the internet is the internet, as we learn more things about everything all the time, guess what? Venues find the living shit out of events if you're late. Like, there's videos of, I think it was like Pentatonics, that was like, yo, if you don't do this in 5 minutes, it's $1,000 per minute or something like that. So again, oh, why'd they wrap it up? Maybe just maybe, because there's fucking money behind it. Again, tell me you've never been in management. They'll tell me you've never fucking been in management. Yeah. It's just the way the world works. Is it great? Yeah. No. But again, there's a lot of shit behind the scenes. Fun fact, Drell, I was kind of just pulling up another take on this. I don't know how I ended up on the NPR article about the Game Awards. The image they chose to kind of start the article was with Gonzo and the corkboard. So
nice.
Now, again, I will say, Did I watch the whole Game Awards live start to finish? No, because I was at work and I had to watch it after work. And also, I was playing Remnant 2 on the side. So the Game Awards I had on the side. So was I watching the Game Awards like focus, start to finish? No. So the 4 run length at face value, is that lengthy? Kinda. I like Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that shit was like 4 hours. You know what I mean? So, and like I said, like you said, Drell, people are like, oh, there's ads. Yeah, that's how you fucking earn money. Like, and so again, is like, okay, is all the criticism should be ignored? Should all the criticism should you and I laugh at? No. But a significant portion of it, again, should be fucking, it's not valid. It's not realistic. I'm sorry. I can't personally speak to the dead times because I didn't watch the dead times. I couldn't speak to the slow times because I didn't watch the slow times. I'm sorry. And again, my thing is like Drell said, well, they didn't speak of this. They didn't speak of this. Gaming for a lot of people, even like me personally, I've talked about on this show, for a lot of people that had it like, hey, just call it how it is. I remember to the day playing WWE SmackDown instead of going to a funeral. I just call it what it was. Gaming is escapism for a lot of people. People tune into stuff like this. People turn on their gaming systems for like that to mentally clock out, to mentally unwind. So a lot of people don't want to have that in their award ceremonies for an industry of escapism, for an industry of imagination. I know that sounds, like an industry of imagination, but it's kind of to a point what gaming is for a lot of people. So 4 hours, I was not aware of their runtime. I will say that, but again, I watched, Zack Snyder's on HBO Max in one sitting. I don't know, bring some fucking popcorn. There's be a bathroom break during the commercials. Oh, it's what they're for. Oh.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of like, like a lot of areas in this, I'm mixed. And here's the other thing too. I'm very, like I said, I'm not like to my home, but again, now I'm curious to see what Jeff Keighley does with the next year, because with the overall context we just talked about, with E3 being canceled, the market value power that Jeff Keighley now has as one of the potentially one of the biggest live events in gaming, way the fuck bigger than the Oscars, clearly, which is how much of $1 billion fucking industry Hollywood is, and they can't pull in shit views for their Oscars, but the Game Awards does this, dude. Jeff holds all the cards next year. I'm sorry. So in terms of this year, I'll wrap up my thoughts of was it perfect? No, nothing fucking is. Is 4 hours a long time? Sometimes, depends. I just came back from a 6-hour road trip down, fucking down to a different state. Sometimes shit's long. Sorry. And that 4 hours that he's talking about everything you wanted to hear? No. It happens. And again, like I said, of oh, they wrapped up the end. Real talk. The internet, venues find people like fucking crazy. So I'm just coming from all this with the dust settling. I'm just hyped for next year, my guy.
No, I agree with you, Arthur. I agree. Yeah, a lot of people, they don't understand. Some people don't understand the context behind things. And there might be some restructuring that they can do, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they can't satisfy everybody's needs, and can they adjust it? Sure. But can they satisfy everybody's needs? No, that's just not possible. That's not possible with anything. Yeah, because I know there's a law. I don't know if it's like USA wide, but as far as Los Angeles County, you can't have any live music play past 11 p.m. Is it? Or you're fined like fucking thousands. Like, I remember I saw her live, and she was incredible, but it was nearing like 11, and she was trying to do her solo, and then she fucking ran off stage, and my wife's like, "Where's she going?" I said, "Oh, they can't perform past 11." It was like minutes past.
Fucking world-renowned millionaire musicians run the fuck off stage because of some of these shit laws and background stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So again, people need to know the context. Oh, they should have given them more time. People run off stage. Drill, I think, and then also Percy Drill, before you came to our store, we were threatened with something similar for a midnight launch. I don't know if you remember that. Like we had like someone was like getting a noise complaint. The cops came like, it might be valid this time, guys. We're like, ah, shit. So we gotta wrap this midnight launch up. Hey, everyone, deuces, head out, get your game, start that massive fucking download. So again, it's like, oh, they could have gone longer. Sorry, LA County has fucking laws about LA music. Oh, it's like, oh, isn't LA County like the city of angels, the city of music? Not fucking past 11 p.m. It's not.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So rest in. Oh, go ahead.
Well, before you get that, fuck. I was like, oops, I interrupted it. Oh man, look at me. I'm playing wrap it up. Fuck you, I'm interrupting a somber moment. I know that sentence you're going with. I didn't interrupt on that moment. Shit happens, guys. Sorry. In a live moment, I feel like real talk. Joe was about to say the phrase "rest in peace." Now I'm like, yeah, hold up a minute. I got something. So clearly life happens sometimes.
It's okay.
But I was gonna say, like, even again, it's not apples to apples, Joe. But again, I used to work with hotels, and it's like, wow, you're celebrating your wedding reception, the best moment of your lives. You're going over, so we're gonna bill the fuck out of you for it. So I just like, oh, we have how many banquet staff staying over to help with this shit? You're paying for their fucking revenue. I'm just saying that. I'm just, again, people that have worked in the parts of the industry of venues or catering, of fucking hotels, like it's an industry. There is money behind the scenes. So again, please wrap it up. Is like, hey, are you, can we write this invoice to you? Just, if not, wrap it up.
Yes, sir. So shout out to the Game Awards. Looking forward to next year, and rest in peace to E3. Speaking of rest in peace, unfortunately, this won't be the last of it, and it won't be the Last of Us Online, which has been officially canceled. So I want to say it was once called Factions, but this is slightly alarming, and it could be the starting fire that will spread into 2024. And I will preface, Last of Us Online Factions has been something that's been in development for quite some time. And obviously another one of those live service games, obviously. But there's been a lot of just, delays, not sure what's going on with the game. Jim Ryan, when he was in power, so to speak, making additional adjustments and focuses and whatnot, and it seemed like Factions kept getting put to the side, and unfortunately, it looks like it's just not happening. It's just not going. And the reason why I say that this is problematic is because, one, this was one of the live service games that I think there's a decent amount of people that were looking forward to it. And would make sense for PlayStation 5 or 5 Pro, whatever they're going to make for next year. Hope maybe the Pro series comes out. But we just had, not too long ago, a Sony presentation where there is a shitload of live service games that they're planning on rolling out, and those aren't nowhere near as big as The Last of Us, obviously, and the online, the factions, the hype around that. So the fact that the factions is closed makes me very worried for next year. And talking about layoffs and stuff, we just talked about the Embrace Your Group stuff. We talked about the layoffs, as far as not being mentioned during the Game Awards. Imagine live service. Imagine live service. So it makes me a little worried for not Anthem, Marathon. Makes me a little worried about Marathon. Makes me a little worried about a lot of these other titles. But yeah, this is kind of a bigger stink than I think people realize, and I think it's going to roll over into 2024. But what were your initial reactions as far as for The Last of Us Online being canceled?
I feel like of all the live service games we saw, there's plenty. From that last Sony conference, State of Play, whatever the fuck it was. This was, this was a big one. And here's the thing, this is just another this long list of shit that is canceled after we see gameplay. Like, if we see like a trailer, like a CGI trailer, that game never existed. We're like, okay, that game, what the fuck happened? Never existed, whatever. But when you show it in front of us, it's like, hey, did you order this burger? Oh yeah, I ordered this burger. Oh fuck, my bad. And then they take it away. I'm like, no, that was my cheeseburger. I fucking ordered it. No, see what I mean? So this is
it's 11 p.m.
You know what I mean?
I'll give you the burger away.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's not, I don't know why I'm hungry, but it's like when the waiter or hostess comes up to your table, it's like, did you guys have this appetizer? Spinach dip, no, no spinach dip. Oh, fuck, who the fuck is a spinach dip for? But it's like, like I said, it's like, oh, double cheeseburger, yes, that's me, it's me. Oh no, okay, it's gotta go somewhere else. Ah, God, that was mine. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I want to say, like, this is like the first major project canceled by Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is not notorious for this. There are a lot of AAA studios that have fucked up a launch, that have fucking delayed the shell of their games, that have, like I said, Ubisoft with Skull and Bones. I put it on my fantasy card for some fucking reason. This isn't normal for Naughty Dog. And I'm looking at the actual Naughty Dog site for their apology. And it pretty much for me came down to the pretty much they said, here's a quote on the actual Naughty Dog website. So we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio, or continue to focus on single player native games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. And I feel like, not apples to apples, but like, I feel like Naughty Dog might be able to maintain both to a point, because this Factions online live service, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't going to be like big, but it's not going to be Fortnite. This wasn't going to be Warzone. This wasn't going to be a massive, like, super fucking hit. First of all, it's console exclusive. There's no PC. There's no Switch. There's no fucking cloud. So I don't see why they could have done both. When they say it's like we had to sacrifice this to focus on single player projects, I'm sure there absolutely is some validity to that, but they're talking as if they're about to like drop like the next fucking Fortnite from Epic Games.
No, you're right. And part of me thinks that's cap too, because it's like, why wouldn't you have a separate studio to work on multiplayer? You know what I mean? Like, why would it be like another Arcane situation where it's like, oh, we're working on an online shooter, but we're Arcane. We haven't really done a whole lot of that. Like, why would you want to put them in a position like that as well? So part of me is just wondering if the team that wasn't going to work on that didn't, or they were just sent off to do something. But to me, it's very odd that Naughty Dog was actually the same fucking team to do single players, or they're gonna force them to make an online version. That's just strange to me.
And here's the thing, it's not like Naughty Dog's like foreign to multiplayer. I feel like Naughty Dog has actually made some really, really good fucking multiplayer.
Uncharted wasn't bad.
Uncharted, here's the thing, as much as we talk about the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer that had no business being that fucking good, neither did Uncharted. Like, Uncharted is known for its, its fucking movie-like quality gameplay. But somehow that online multiplayer was fucking really fun to play.
It was pretty good, yeah. It was really good.
It was really fun. The only thing, again, that was a hindrance for it, because when you have like a console exclusive multiplayer, after like any quote unquote live service game, when the popularity dies, the game dies. So even though you can replay Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4 as a single player campaign, no one really can go back and play the multiplayer. So that's the other thing with me. And if this was like, if this was like a major studio, like stepping out of its lane into multiplayer, I might be able to give them some leeway, but multiplayer isn't foreign to this company at all.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And it is very disappointing, especially given for what's really, what are people really looking forward to when it comes to the PlayStation games and the PlayStation first party titles, and with the huge list of live service games, I think this is just going to be one of many live service games that close on the console, and it's going to be very concerning. You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't care what people say. I think Spider-Man 2, I think while it is a fun game, I think they mailed it in. They mailed it in, and that's why there's delays on like, hey, when's this new Game Plus coming out? And then like certain bugs that need to be fixed. Again, good game, but could have been better. Could have been better, and they had to ship. They had to get this thing out there to represent for Sony's console. I understand that, but this is not good. This is not good. Obviously, Last of Us 2, the remake or the remaster,
the remake of the remaster.
The remake of the remaster. They're gonna release that very soon. But I mean,
I'm sure it's gonna launch perfectly on PC, as all Sony games do. It's gonna be fine.
And yeah, that's a whole other thing too. It's like, PC.
Now here's the thing in terms of future for Naughty Dog. People are like, well, what now? I will give it this, and this is me quoting an actual Naughty Dog website. We have more than one ambitious brand new single player game that we're working on here at Naughty Dog, and we cannot wait to share more about what comes next when we're ready. So that's good. That's good news. Again, Naughty Dog's working on something. A single player game from Naughty Dog. Sounds like more than one. Their words, not mine. More than one single player game from Naughty Dog at face value is not a bad thing. It just does suck that it's like that second thing comes out the news while ripping away this first thing. I had multiple like Sony friends like message me like, "Yo, you're about this?" I'm like, yeah, fucking hell for you guys. But it's just, I don't know. And here's the other thing, Joe. What do you think? How do you think this would have been on their store? Like, how do you think an online PvP game Sony first party title would have priced? You know what I mean? Like how? Like I know we never saw it because I don't want to say, Drell, it was never on the Sony store for pre-order. Right. So if it was never on the Sony store for pre-order, how much do you think this game would have costed? Because I say this, remind you, like Overwatch 2, as much as crap as Overwatch 2 gets, that's free. Halo multiplayer is free, right? So had factions launched, how much do you think they would have priced it to have Sony customers pay to play this game, which is an online only service?
Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to squeeze 60, 70 out of those motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
I wonder if that played a role into it, because since we are in this new age of like battle pass and microtransactions, companies are quote unquote able to get a mental pass with it, or to be honest, they get a pass with it because their game's free. Halo, Overwatch 2, Fortnite. These are free to play games. Everything else is paid for. But Drill, there's no way Factions would have been a free game. So I wonder if, not major, but I wonder if a factor would have been the reaction if this was like a $50 PvP online only mode in this new world of free game, but everything else is expensive as shit.
That's a great point, Arthur. That's a great point. That might have been an even bigger stink. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting because of the decision made now. As far as hey, we're gonna close it because we could do this, or we could work on more single player games. Like, what was the real reason why it stopped? Because this was a project for a long time.
And it's not, and again, because we saw gameplay, it felt like it was nearly done. It's not like if this was cut off way early in the making, we're like, well, fuck, what could have been? There's, dozens of games that were cut off after having a CGI trailer, after being announced, having a reveal trailer, after being told in an interview this game will exist. Dead Island 2. I remember OG Dead Island 2 being canceled after that trailer fucking 8-9 years ago. But when you see, again, a CGI trailer only, you're like, well, shit happens. But again, when you see gameplay, we see it. This game existed. And it gets not delayed, but canceled. Like you said, Drill. It's like, oh, we canceled it because we're working on their shit. Cap. It looked like this game was fucking done. So what else?
Yeah.
Like I said, what else was underlying issues in the background that I canceled? And like I said, as I think more on this, I wonder if Sony was planning to price it how they're planning to market it, that again played a role into a game with gameplay of what this was going to look like, a possible quote unquote bust or overpriced failure at launch.
Fair point. Fair point. And the last thing I have to say is, Naughty Dog, get your shit together. Work on Jak and Daxter, please. We need more Jak and Daxter. It needs to happen.
To sort of stick on this, because again, Naughty Dog says they're working on more than one project. Would you, a supposed, an alleged Sony fan, give them a pass if the next big announcement from Naughty Dog, or not the next, but one of the two, or one of the more than one, that's the exact quote, more than one ambitious, brand new, blah, blah, blah. Single player game. So more than one. If one of them was like Naughty Dog, bring you back an older IP like Jak and Daxter.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even. I would be like, it reminds me of Tombstone, where she was like, "I forgave you the moment you said it." Like I would forgive them the moment they said they canceled this factions. Absolutely. I mean, to me, that's the whole problem with Sony right now, is that they want to focus on profit so much that they have an identity crisis. Like, it's, yes, the console is the highest selling console out of the three, but at what expense, as far as like losing its identity in general? Like, yeah, there's some good games on it, but not nearly enough to cop the system to begin with. And I've been saying that for years. Like, it's really odd that I don't have a console, but just the proof is in the pudding. Like, Jim Ryan, I was not comfortable with how he was pushing it, especially with him really, like, he said a lot of ignorant shit that the media cleaned up and that the news kind of took down articles off the internet. But and then we talked about it last episode, as far as like the irony of him getting an old school console when he didn't really care for old school games, or why people play old school games on new systems. Like, that whole thing was just like, wow, like, that's ridiculous.
A man who was clearly outspoken against backwards compatibility, or like the positivity in older games being gifted a PlayStation 1 themed PS5 that we talked about last week, so I won't go too much into it. But again, it's like, I don't know. Again, overall, this is not a good thing for Sony. Coming off of Spider-Man 2, not winning a single game award. It's not great.
Exactly. And you know what's not great either? Fortunately, when it comes to live service games, we just cannot get it the fuck together. The day before, very similar to The Last of Us as well, which is an online PC game that was that the beta, I believe it was, that it was announced. But 4 days after its launch, shut down indefinitely. And there's a little more beef to this story as well. There's a little more beef to this story as well. I'm going to read this from Game Rant. So according to Game Rant, it says here in quote, the day before, developer Fantastic has announced that it is closing down just 4 days after the zombie shooter game was released in early access on Steam. The day before generated significant buzz when it was first revealed, giving fans hope of an open world MMO zombie shooter game with serious Last of Us vibes. After multiple delays and very little of the game being shown to the public, though many started to accuse the day before of being fake. The day before, developers pushed back against claims that the game was fake or somehow a scam, but the controversies continue to pile on. Reports surfaced of the day before using volunteer developers soured many on the project. Things got worse when the day before was removed from Steam amid an apparent trademark dispute. Despite all of this, Fnatic finally released the day before in early access on December 7th, but it seems the game has been a massive financial failure for the studio. Fantastic has confirmed that that is closing down. They say here in quote, unfortunately, the day before has failed financially and we lack the funds to continue, end quote. The developer said that in a statement on Twitter. The statement stated a desire to release updates for the day before so that the game can reveal its full potential. But that won't be possible since the studio no longer funding continue to work on that project. The day before remains available for purchase on Steam for $40 at the time of writing, and the developers have said that the game's future is unknown, although servers will remain operational for now. While Fantastic is shut down, it seems though the day before staying alive for the time being. End quote. This one was really weird, Arthur, just because the sheer fact of not only just the game being a financial failure 4 days after it comes out, which to me is very odd in itself, right? For there to be a financial projection where if it's not a hit in over 24 hours, we have to shut down. I don't understand that. That's very odd to me. It's very odd to me. And then the fact that it was $40 for early access, joining early access for the day before, and for the CEO's LinkedIn to disappear. I think it was the Twitter, the LinkedIn to disappear. Shit was mad, like very odd and very sketch. And saying, hey, it was a financial failure, sorry. But it's like, yo, the game's been out for 4 days. Like, how can you even conclude that it's a financial failure when people have been on the server for a little over 72 hours? Like, how are you even declaring that being a failure? So, and then obviously, then there was some trademark disputing, I guess, within the midst of all of this. It sounded a little scammy. It didn't seem like just a game that just didn't work out and close just because of how they did everything. And then even, I want to say it was, I don't know if the CEO or the developer or somebody said, oh, shit happens. But it's like, yo, like, you can't say that when people spend $40 on a game and then 4 days later they say that we're not working on it anymore. You know what I mean? So, this was highly concerning because it's like, okay, now we don't just have games that are no longer operational because of things behind the scenes. R&D didn't work out. Now we have games that people can now be suspicious of it being a cash grab. It's almost like a crowdfunding thing where it's like you take the money and go and it's never made, or it isn't to its full potential. Like now there's a whole other realm of concerns, potential concerns, because not everyone is as conspiracy theorist as I am, but there can be a potential whole other realm of concerns for people really trusting live service games. Very interesting. Arthur, what are your thoughts?
This game had hallmarks of a scam for a while. One of the people I follow was, for those of you that are like heavy into the streamer realm, I know I was shitting on streamers because some of them need it. Moist Critical, and he put a video about this a while ago that this has a hallmarks of a scam for a while because its trailers were kind of fakey. Like this was like some people were calling this Unreal Engine 5 asset the game, where everything in it wasn't really original. People were saying how like everything in this are like pre-built in Unreal Engine 5 just stuff. It's like a glorified version of Microsoft, like Microsoft Paint or like PowerPoint. Like they give you like these templates and they just built that. So it's like, how do we make this game? Oh, with a glorified PowerPoint template, So this again, it's a whole level of like, oh, triple, like, oh, games don't work at launch, and to the developer that was like, oh, shit happens. You can't say that when No Man's Sky is still getting nominated for Game of the Year award, and when Cyberpunk just fucking won for best ongoing game. You can't do that less than 1 week after Cyberpunk 2077 wins best ongoing game. The supposed developers of this fucking game are like, sometimes games don't work. Yeah, we're done. Thanks for the money.
Exactly.
Bye. This hasn't happened in a while. That's the other thing too, because I know people have like a short-term memory, and I'm like fucking Captain Dory Brain over here, anyone that knows me. But stuff like this sort of used to happen where games used to be like unplayable at launch, and the industry kind of went, whoops, oopsie daisy, sorry. And it's like whatever they profited, they profited. So I feel like events like that is what I feel like to a point stem the category of best ongoing game because of that. Now, I'm not saying games that broke at launch and now work are like always the fucking winners of the best ongoing games. That's like kind of like fucking, if that's going to be the trend, then hey, Jeff, don't make that the ongoing trend for that fucking category, But again, Drill, like that was a thing back in the day where some games are a shit launch, and guess what? People like, well, don't buy it. But now this is like the first kind of this scale in this age where like this was on Steam. This wasn't like a jank fucking website. Like, go to this website. This game's legit. It's $50, but it'll be worth it. And this was like on like proper storefront platforms. And I'm hoping, I don't like to use the word lawsuit a lot because I feel like there's a lot of people that are like lawsuit heavy, but again, this was some shitty shit from the get-go. And I want to say, I forget if this was a Kickstarter funded game. I forget if this was like a GoFundMe Kickstarter type of game rather than an actual like quote unquote publisher. Because when we think of like publishers, we think of it like our developer. We think of like an existing company that has employees making a game, and then they get paid after the game comes out. But I want to say this was like a Kickstarter game where like, if not Kickstarter, I want to say this was a game where people can like crowdfunded. Thank you. People can like pay X amount of dollars to have X amount of perks at launch. And I feel like that's what this game had. It had a lot of crowd-funded shit like that. So when they start releasing trailers, it's like, okay, it's not a gameplay trailer. Okay, it's not a gameplay trailer. And then we finally get a gameplay trailer. Like, look at it. It was kind of like, again, like kind of basic. In terms of when you look at a game, you have to ask of like how many things are happening on screen. And that determines how like hard that game is to make. Like, for example, we talked about GTA 6. GTA 6 is like a $2 billion funded game because there's be all the things on screen at once. There's be fucking birds flying. There's be dolphins fucking in the corner. There's be some, fucking Florida man doing bath salt. There's be like all these cars, like I said, GTA 6 had a patent for like have like NPC pedestrian traffic motions in front of you. Like I said, it's like how many things are active in front of you. And you look at that first gameplay trailer like days before, there was only like one or two things happen. There was only like directly two things happening on screen: the player moving and the thing they were shooting at. So in terms of, I'm not saying games are easy to fucking make. I'm just saying, like, so people behind the scenes were calling it out of like, that's kind of simple for what this game was advertising. And again, it's like, I'm not saying, oh, like clickbait, but Drill, is this the Fire Festival of games?
No, man, you're absolutely right. There wasn't a whole lot going on. I remember one of the gameplay pieces of footage, not very appeasing, not very interesting at all. And I was like, who fucking chose this? I was like, that did not convince me to get the game, like whatsoever. You know what I mean? So the fact that it's boiled down to this, it's pretty concerning, and I wouldn't be surprised if they found themselves in a lawsuit, because it was just the fact that they're gonna delete accounts like, what was it, 96 hours after it's released? Like, come on, guys! Like, are you serious? You fucking kidding me?
GTA
like,
5 made $1 billion in 27 hours. This game was shut down in 96.
Right. It's just like, yo, this does not make any sense, my guy. So yeah, so that's unfortunate.
I can tell you what we've learned, Drill. Something that I've
learned?
been telling everyone for a while. Stop it. No more pre-orders. Don't do it. This is coming from a guy. Arthur, did you pre-order Diablo 4? Yes, and I regret all of it. I regret everything I spent there.
man.
didn't listen to what I preached. Don't
Papa,
pre-order
don't
shit.
preach.
If there is an alpha or a beta that requires a penny of your hard-earned money, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree with you as far as pre-orders. So with all that trash in mind, all that stuff in mind,
with all this positive news, it's all this wonderful things, people are scammed of their money. Let's move on.
All the crazy things that have happened this year, and I'm here concluding the fantasy card for 2023 as far as for who ended and what. Unfortunately, once again, Church can be here, but
I mean, do we have to? Do we have to talk about that?
Yes, God damn it, we do.
We're gonna skip it. We got what? Skull and Bones. Oh, who's that?
It's all good. It's all good. One of my games didn't come out this year either, so it's all good.
Just one? Wow.
So starting with Church, aka David Martinez, so he had The Legend of Zelda, which got 32 points. And this is all via Open Critic. Spider-Man 2, that game came out, 21 points. Super Mario Wonder, 22. I got his ass with Suicide Squad. I counterpicked that one. That it got pushed back to as I predicted.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. Octopath Traveler 2, 15 points. Forza Motorsport 14. Actually, that's kind of a lower number compared to the previous Motorsports. Interesting. Persona 5 Tactica. That one, I thought it was going to be scored higher than it was, but only got a 78, i.e. only 8 points. And that actually saved me.
And a Persona game got less than 80?
Kind of crazy, right?
Dude, that's crazy considering IGN gave Call of Duty Ghosts fucking 9 out of 10 or some. Yeah, maybe, but yeah.
I fucking hate IGN, bro. Like they're besides Destin, everyone's ass over there.
Hi.
Oh, and Ryan McCaffrey. Ryan McCaffrey's incredible too. But besides
Ryan McCaffrey's cool.
Ass.
Minus Ryan McCaffrey. Anything else we can think of the top of our head? Hi. Do you like the smell of cock on our breath? We're IGN. Gobble gobble.
Liza.
So like we said,
speaking of cock, Liza P.
I was gonna say. Speaking of what you said earlier, please subscribe because we are clearly not fucking sponsored.
No sponsors, just content. Liza P, 12 points. Destiny 2 Lightfall, 1 point, 71. Like a Dragon Ishin 11, and then Armor Core. He tried to counterpick me, and I said, nah.
I will say we like raced to counterpick you of Armored Core Fires of Rubicon. Yeah. You dare think in this age, in 2023, a game will come out that same year it's fucking revealed? You're crazy. Crazy, man.
Lo and behold, Crazy Man's right. So you got negative 15 points for that. Totaling out to 120 points. So if Persona 5 was, if that hit at a higher level, and if fucking say if he got positive 15 points, he would have got me. But 120 points. So shout out to good old Church there. Arthur, you chose Jedi Survivor, which got 14 points. Dead Island 2, 5 points. Minecraft Legends, unfortunately 0 points on that one, but it's the Minecraft game. They made a game that was very hard to advertise. Hogwarts Legacy, 14 points on the boards.
Hashtag snub the Game of the Year awards.
Exactly. Yeah. They fucked that up definitely. The Like a Dragon Guide and the Man Who Erased His Name, 9 points. The Warhammer Space Marine 2, unfortunately that one didn't come out this year. Atomic Heart came out, but not the best reviews, 4 points for that one. Wulong Fallen Dynasty, solid title, 11 points. Skull and Bones, we missed the mark on that one. Didn't come out this year, so 0 points. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, 89 average. So you got 19 points there. And then the Super Mario RPG remake, 84, so 14 points. And Hades 2, I think you were counterpicking that one.
So
Or someone tried to counterpick you for that, I think.
No. Here's what that was. So here's the thing. I think I should get bonus points because I count. So Church picked Hades 2 for coming out this year. I counterpicked it saying no, the fuck, it's not going to come out this year, and in fact, it did not come out this year. So I think I should get something.
No, yeah, I was mentioning too. That was one of my gripes about this is that there's no points given if you were correct when a game doesn't come out when it's counterpicked. So
give me 5.
Yeah, so I'll give you 5.
So
I'll give you 5. So total points, 95 on the docket there.
96
or 96. Sorry, 96. I've ran 5. Yeah. So solid.
Who is saving? Who is saving for last show? I can't. Who are we missing? Who have we talked about on this fantasy card? Who actually put in time and effort to research games, and definitely not like me, Googled shit on the fly live while we're. Who have we not talked about yet?
I had such a rough start, bro. I had such a rough start. My first game was Redfall, and it got negative 11 points. Actually, it was like negative 15 when it first came out.
That's not technically true.
Well,
your first game on your docket that gamers played was Sons of the Forest.
That's true. I still don't know why the fuck that game isn't out yet. Like, officially. Like, what the fuck?
Because we're in the world where alphas can exist for 6 fucking years.
Yeah. So, Revolver Ocelot, which is myself, go to the list here. Final Fantasy 16, 18 points. Street Fighter 6, 23 points. Diablo 4, 18 points. Pikmin 4, 18 points. Good old Fire Rubicon, Armored Core 6, 15 points there. Fortunately, I got donuts for 0 Sons of the Forest and for Metal Slug Tactics. They both didn't come out this year. Alan Wake 2, 89, 19 points there. Mortal Kombat 1, 14 points. Redfall, negative 11 points. Ugh. Starfield, 85 and 15 points. And then Viewfinder, 83, 13 points there. And then I counterpicked Suicide Squad. I got it right, but I got 0 points.
Let's keep it fair. If I awarded myself, as I should, 5 points for correctly counterpicking a game, let's give you 5 points.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So that totals to 147. 147 fantasy points, which means I won this year for the fantasy card. First time we've done this. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. We can definitely make some adjustments. I definitely want it to be more engaging.
It was fun. We definitely need to adjust how we pick second round picks because I should have got Super Mario Wonder because we learned that the draft window for round 2 is for every fucking buddy. So when the person who's in first doesn't fucking do it, the rest of us get fucked. Church was punctual with that shit. He was like, but I was like, so what I'm referring to is there was like a draft window of like you have X time to do it, but it wasn't like you individually. It was more like as a whole. So when Church was before me, I was like, I took screenshots. I have receipts. I put screenshots in the receipts. Y'all were like, Arthur, you know what the fuck you're doing. And I'm like, motherfucker, I set screenshots that said I have this time. I have 5 seconds. I have 4 seconds. But I couldn't click OK. And with like 20, with 2 seconds left, Church was like, I submitted my picks. I'm like, my turn. You're out of time. Fuck you. And I'm like, God damn it. So, but here's the thing. Coming into this, I still knew I was going to come in third. I'm just more of along for the ride than for the victory. Also, let the record show, I still make podium because I'm in bronze. And be like, Arthur, well, there's only 3 of you came in last. Motherfucker, I came in bronze, okay? Like,
that's right.
In fact, it's not apples to apples, but y'all remember that the Winter Olympics when like Apollo Ono was for the US was gonna win, and he like tripped and tackled fucking everybody, And the guy from Australia was like, "Oh, I fucking won!" And then the guy from Australia just like literally won gold because every other speed skater fell. Like I said, I came in bronze. Fuck you. You can't take it away from me. I'm on the podium. I get a picture. So, like I said, here's the thing, Drill. Let the record show, by the way, Phantom Liberty was my highest scoring game, which was not I expected at all. Like, of all the things on my docket, Phantom Liberty scored higher than Hogwarts. Phantom Liberty scored higher than Jedi Survivor. And also, somehow, let me confirm this. Let me confirm this. Okay, by one. Okay. I did not expect Diablo 4. Okay. I did not expect Diablo 4 score to maintain so high because as we know with this critic thing we did is as time went on, reviews changed, therefore points scored. I feel like week one Diablo 4 got it's earned its score of 88. Present day Diablo 4 does not earn a fucking 88. So you got lucky with your fucking points. I just feel bad. I'm not feel bad. I feel mad of like, well, how come the Like a Dragon game that Church picked did good and the Like a Dragon game I picked did shit? God damn it. This I think we were all together in it, but like really, Drill, I think it was really quick. Like I think it was like round 4. Like ASAP. So for those who remember, we did a draft live. We did there was like 2, let's just call it not rounds, let's just call it 2 phases. Two drafts. Draft 1, dude. Drell, like I said, you were there. By round 4, it immediately became no longer of what's good quality. It immediately became of what the fuck's gonna come out because everything was getting delayed. Everything was getting postponed. We're like again, Church's game had a whole fucking showcase. Suicide Squad had a whole showcase of that gameplay. And it was really quick, Drell. I want to say it was like within 1 month. Within 1 month of Suicide Squad having its own showcase, that shit was like, we are delaying the fuck out of this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's on record. I was like, that game's not coming out.
Yeah, Charles like, man, this Fortnite with DC skins ain't fucking dropping anytime soon. Which, by the way, let's just add. I feel like Gotham Knights will be kind of. I kind of spoiled where the conversation was going. I spoiled my punchline. I feel like Suicide Squad will be like Gotham Knights. A lot of people might not play it till it comes on Game Pass. Yeah. Which, by the way, here's your daily dose of Game Pass. Gotham Knights is on Game Pass. Dude, Atomic Heart. I remember when Atomic Heart got delayed. I got nervous because Atomic Heart. Remember, Atomic Heart was supposed to. Remember when Atomic Heart got announced? They had like that asterisk Ember. And then they just made up, and then it got delayed, and we're like, fuck it, ignore that trailer. I don't know. I'm still upset. Atomic Heart didn't do its performance as well as it did.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2. Yeah. Dead Island 2 is a game I definitely drafted from the heart, which is funny because it's a game I haven't even bought yet.
Yeah, it's on sale and I haven't bought it, so don't buy yourself.
And a few of the games, again, just fucking delayed. Space Marine 2. I think of all the games on all of our dockets that hit the hardest of being delayed. Drill, why is it that on a Warhammer game is supposed to come out around my birthday, it gets fucking delayed? This is 2 years in a row,
second time? Yeah.
Last year with Warhammer 40k Darktide, yep. Drill, it was like within 5 days of launch. It was less than 1 week of launch. I went on to the Darktide website. I sent you screenshots before any announcement. Let the record show. I have screenshots before Warhammer 40k Fat Shark was developer. Before Fat Shark officially announced anything, I had screenshots of like, bro, why is this game no longer listed on a console release? You know what I mean? I'm like, where to go? And then like 2 days later, boop boop boop. Public announcement: Warhammer 40k Darktide is no longer coming on console, which has since come to console and since come to Game Pass. Which it was, first of all, it was always supposed to come to Game Pass, but it got delayed. And now Space Space Marine
I
2.
know, man. It's lame.
Dude, I will say this, Drill. When Space Marine 2 comes out, I want to say it's on Game Pass. I want to say Space Marine 2 is on Game Pass. But because Warhammer is one of the public IPs, we all say it's like, oh, Warhammer plus XCOM, Warhammer plus Doom, Warhammer plus this. Warhammer Space Marine 2 is supposed to be Warhammer 40K plus Gears of War, and it's gonna be cooperative. Every now and again,
that's crazy.
Every now and again, our friends group says, "Dude, you gotta get this because I'm asking you to get this." Drill, that's Space Marine 2. Just letting you know.
I'm on it. Yeah, I'm on it. I'll definitely get. I'm with you. I'll get
Say
it.
less, and that's where we're cool.
Yep.
but yeah, I feel like honestly, it's like, did I come in bronze? But again, selfishly, it's like we're talking about me. Well, there's only you and me and Jersey here. But honestly, about this whole docket of all the delays, all the failures, all the shocks, all the surprises, the thing that hurts the most is Space Marine 2 is not coming out. That's all it's not coming out.
Yeah, man. So, last thing on the docket here for the show, I guess kind of wanted us to reminisce on just the crazy year we've had with 2023, man. I mean, we've, Dead Island 2, a game that we thought would never existed, which is wild.
Dead Island 2. I'll let you finish your sentence. I'm still, we're gonna go back to Dead Island 2 briefly.
No, go ahead.
I was talking to Ivan, my roommate at the time. I was talking to Ivan real time in real life about how I said I don't trust reveal trailers. In real time, I Googled Dead Island 2, and in my face, all the search results showed trailer, posted a day ago, posted 1 day ago, posted 1 day ago. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because I was saying, hey, because like he was talking about a game that just got revealed. I'm like, dude, don't just don't hold your breath. Don't, like, I was there. I was there for Dead Island 2 when they should have zombie on Venice Beach getting munched on, and I'm a bomb about to blow up. I remember that. And real time, I was like, dude, I think here's exactly what happened. I said, here's why you shouldn't trust every game that gets announced. And I was on my Xbox. I was on YouTube. I hit Y to search, as we all do. I hit Y to search. I typed in Dead Island 2. I was going to show Ivan the exact original Dead Island 2 trailer. And then live in front of me, I'm like, what? Like, because I wasn't aware that thing happened. I'm like, and all of a sudden I see like reveal. That I saw the word reveal. I saw the word reveal drill, and then I saw the word gameplay. I'm like, Dead Island 2 and the word gameplay has never existed in this English language until that moment for me. And I lost my shit. Again, I never bought the game. But to be there, to tell again, it's like you're telling somebody, here's why you shouldn't buy this. Let me Google why this product is shit. And then like in real time, you Google like top 3 products of all time is this fucking thing. You're like, what the fuck is happening? So even though I didn't buy on the Dead Island 2, like I said, Jarrell, for this year in recap, mid-sentence using Dead Island 2 as an example why you shouldn't trust reveal trailers, and while you're trying to prove your point, a new fucking trailer drops eight goddamn years later is the wildest thing. Ivan probably thought I was going insane because mid-sentence I just stopped talking. I'm like, because it's like the craziest shit. So this year to review, Dead Island 2 for me was the weirdest thing that could have happened for gaming. But I'll let you continue. I don't always try to interrupt Drill, but it happens. He lets me do it. He's a kind man for letting me do it.
That's hilarious. Definitely worth it. Obviously one of the biggest things is the Xbox, Activision, Blizzard purchase, right? We had a lot of shit was purchased this year as far as them buying, Microsoft buying Bethesda.
I don't know, Drill. I don't know, Drill. I think my reaction to Dead Island 2 was way more important than the $69 billion. Like, hey, I know like 3 continents held up this deal. Let's talk about me.
So, but yeah, I mean, we didn't even know if it was going to happen at one point, right? We are just
No, no, here's the thing. We knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when.
sorry
As
about
I
that.
No, you're good. No,
I was
no,
like,
Joe,
why is this happening?
I carried it. I carried it. We're good. So it was really funny. You like dropped like the preface like sentence like mic drop. So you were saying we were saying whether or not this was going to happen. I kind
Yes.
like I'll pull this back. Here, I'll pull this back. We knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of like when.
Yeah.
And like I said, when it comes to like, oh, monopoly practices, my guy, fucking look up how many companies on this earth, Coke, Pepsi, Nabisco, GMC, Disney fucking own. And you'll learn the word monopoly has existed for fucking decades.
Yeah. Seriously.
So again, for me, it wasn't going to be a matter of, to a point, not when, not if this would happen. If it was a matter of if now, like, mind you, something like, let's say, church finds a receipt of Arthur's, like, this is never gonna happen. But I feel like if that wasn't gonna be the case, it's because, let's just all call it is. We knew if this would be stopped, is because the right people weren't paid off. Real talk. We all know. When, like I said, when Disney buys it's like one of its major competitors, a 20th Century Fox. Like, again, for you that, for those of us that grew up broke, we all know basic cable had like 6 fucking channels. And for those others that was in Southern California, we know those fucking channels. Channel 2, CBS. Channel 4, NBC. Channel 5, WB, became the CW. Channel 7, ABC. Channel 9, KCAL 9, aka like KCAL 9 was like discount CNN. KCAL 9 was like constant news, but like not national news. KCAL 9 was like constant 24/7 local news. Channel 11, Fox 11. Channel 13, UPN. What's up? UPN was a great fucking rerun channel. And after UPN was like LA 18, which is like the Asian channel, and then like PBS shit. But again, for people that grew up on like ABC and like Fox, to find out that Channel 7 ABC bought Channel 11 Fox, you're like, what the fuck is happening? So again, that purchase was eventually going to happen. And if it was being hindered, it was just like, okay, who's not getting pocketed the right shit at the right time?
I also remember too, like, even thinking before that happened, I remember the big stink was asshole Bobby Kotick's doing all that foul shit and it's showing up on the internet. And we're saying like, huh, I wonder if and I remember like Phil Spencer saying something as far as like, make sure to take care of our people and stuff like that, but who knew it was the extent of, you know what? Just buy the motherfuckers. And then this whole cascade of shit, the CMA and FTC and all this stuff, and months went by, and it got to the point where church was like, look, I don't even want to keep track of this anymore. Just let me know if it's gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. And then the FTC still wanted to revive the case, even though the appeal was denied. Like, just like, what a bunch of cocksuckers, man.
No,
so yeah.
Let's redo that. Cocksuckers. No, yeah, and remember again. We shit on Jim Ryan. Remember, Jim Ryan publicly to people's faces was lying, because as we know, behind the scenes, after all these subpoenas, Jim Ryan was like, no, they're going to do monopoly. They can't do this. We don't want them to do this. And from all the subpoenas, we found out Jim Ryan from his emails was like, we don't give a fuck. Who gives a shit? We know they're not going to monopolize it. Phil Spencer's not dumb. He's not going to monopolize this. He'll do what's smart for the business. So again, Jim Ryan was publicly fucking lying. So again, we're like, oh, Arthur's the Xbox guy. Subpoenas are my fucking receipts. Sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. What were some of your favorite moments of this year?
I'll start off with surprising moments, because we talked about it here and there. there's a lot of surprising moments for me because I know I'm like, don't pre-order, but Hogwarts Legacy. Let's start with that. Hogwarts Legacy is what kicked off the year for me in a weird direction. Drell and I talked about very long time. Drell and I 10 plus, I want to say 10 plus years ago, Drell, you and I were working together in a retail store. We heard about it. We heard about the rumors, the interviews, the behind the scenes of a very in-depth Harry Potter RPG. And it was delayed. Or like switch developers, switch publishers, switch developers. And then all of a sudden, 5 days before launch, Hogwarts Legacy, Portkey Games, and WB Interactive decide to sponsor, whatever you call it, a bunch of influencers and gamers to play their game and show their footage. And I'm like, holy shit, Drell, we have a fucking game. Like, I went from 0 to 100 because I went from like I said, Drell, what was that one game by the makers of Colossus with a big furry ferret thing that was like 12 years in the making and it was shit?
Last of the Guardians.
Last of the Guardians was whenever Drell and I speak of games, it's like, oh, it's been 10 plus years in the making. We're cautious. We're like, that's sometimes it's not always a good thing. Aliens Colonial Marines was like 6 years in the making. That game is shit. So again, Drell and I worked together, over a decade ago when we heard about some mysterious of like Hogwarts Harry Potter RPG being made. And like I said, 5 days before launch, I'm like, wait, we got combat, we got leveling up, we got cosmetics, we got armor, we got stats. I ended up pre-ordering a game again, a special edition, because pre-ordering the deluxe edition got you access to like their curses and like, evil shit. Even though there was no morality really in the game, you have access to it. I'm like, I'll fucking do it. And because of life, and because of my game ADD, because the Game Pass has a new crazy game coming out every week, I didn't finish it. But Hogwarts, man, Hogwarts for me is what started off this year of like, this is gonna be a wild year. When I started playing the game, Drill, for those of you that still haven't played it, if you are even a minimal fan of anything Harry Potter, please play Hogwarts. And I'm just gonna call it is. We don't all got time to do all this crazy shit. Put in easy mode. I don't give a shit. Put in easy mode. Experience the game. If you don't have time to play Hogwarts Legacy, experience it. I haven't in years, Drill, experienced a game setting as lively, as reactive, as immersive as fucking the castle and everything in Hogwarts Legacy. I still see people, I still watch clips or gameplay of that game, and it's like, God, I want to get back in the game. That castle is so lively. You can do the animal, I can't think of the word, husbandry, whatever they call it. You can do there's like, the creatures of the Hogwarts world, the creatures of the Hogwarts realm. And I'm like, wow, this is a weird, you guys are like, Arthur, did you just pre-order like the $90, $100 version of Hogwarts? I'm like, yeah, I didn't see that coming. And then the next thing I'll say, Jarrell, is my mistake of the year. My mistake of the year, I should have called it. I talked about it. I screamed at it. I blame the beta. I was lied to. That's Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is my biggest mistake of the year. So to play Diablo early, it was like $90. The pre-order deluxe edition. And I was hyped, Drell. You and I were there. We all played together. Drell's like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like flexing on you. Yeah. That's Corpse Burst, my guy. Welcome to the world of Necromancer. Let me introduce you to the world of Necromancer. Diablo 2, my Necromancer was one of my favorite classes in gaming, period. So during the beta of Diablo 4, when I got a glimpse of my Diablo 2 Necromancer, I was all fucking in, because they showed me, they like, here's the game. Great. I am playing Diablo 4 as a Necromancer. I love this game. I'm going all in. I'll pay for it to play it. I'll pay for it to play early. And I fucking download my game trail, and I'm like, this is not the game I played like few weeks, months ago. And like a lot of people, the player count for Diablo 4 dropped off very quick, very fast. Um, um, Again, Diablo is not known for being an open world game. And I think that was its biggest mistake, because a lot of people like me who play open world games one way, but play Diablo games one way, it contradicted each other. And I wasn't playing Diablo, I felt like, the way the developers, quote unquote, thought it should be played, but I was playing it the way I play open world games. And so that was my biggest mistake of the year.
Yeah.
And another thing on Point Trail that was like very on par for me is I finally got a working headset.
Yeah,
at one point, this is, by the way, I have a picture. This is not a joke. I have an actual picture. So I have for those of you who don't know, I have a big head. Like, oh, that's an ego. No, I physically have a big head. I can't wear the baseball caps. I don't wear baseball caps. They don't fit. It just how my head is fucking shaped. At one point in time, I had 5 gaming headsets in my home because 4 didn't work and 1 did. And I don't know what model number, but Turtle Beach, I will please ask you, whatever that model is, that's your $25 model, please don't ever discontinue it. It's the only model that is comfortable. I have the $100 Gen X Recon, whatever the fuck it's called. I broke it. My head. So my head broke it. It's because the Turtle Beach Scout Gen, whatever the fuck it's called, the $100 model, is one solid piece of plastic over the headband. One solid piece of plastic with only the expanding at the very bottom. And over the course of 3 months, my head just cracked one side, and I'm like, okay, let me play with one side. My head tilted like I'm fucking Frankenstein, like a cracked neck, and then both broke. And then I tried, like I said, I have a picture. In fact, fun fact, some people you mentioned on the show, the Canadians, Shannon and Caleb, congrats to their wedding. I met them for the first time at their wedding. It wasn't a wedding present drill, but I gave them, just because I had all this shit in my house, I gave them like a brand new, only like 2-hour used Xbox, not like Turtle Beach, like Xbox first party headset, the Starfield headset, but the basic version without the skin. I gave them that because I bought it, and because its earmuffs, its ear circles were too small for my ears. Apparently I have big ears too. I'm just fucked. So it's just funny that over the course of 2 years, I was trying all these new headsets, and what ended up working the best was my humble $25 pair of Turtle Beach headsets.
Nice. I guess for the sake of time, I'll just kind of mow through some of my favorite moments. One of them is Alan Wake 2 coming out. I remember a while ago, we're at your apartment and talking about the introduction of Alan Wake 2, and I was like, yes, I want this, and then just seeing it come to fruition where it was on Game of the Year from multiple journals, obviously won some awards at the Game Awards. So I was happy to see, because I was a fan of that series. Hideo Kojima finally getting an announcement for a game that's coming out.
I was so happy to witness you reacting to
that was fucking nuts,
Hideo
bro.
Kojima live.
And there's
like Days of Old.
And there's a lot of people online that didn't like the reveal, that didn't understand it, and they're not fans of Kojima. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, but I am. I understand his nuanceness of having people wait and not releasing something that it's exactly exactly what it is. That's a part of the fun. That's a part of the immersion, and that's a part of I'm gonna give you some breadcrumbs here. I kind of like that. I just love that style where it's just I don't know what I saw. It looks interesting. We'll see what happens from there. But I'm just always just a huge fan of Kojima because of what he did for gaming for me. So that was huge for me. I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking happening. Oh my God. Especially with the PT door opening. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is fucking nuts. This is fucking nuts. That was probably arguably the biggest thing that happened for me, to be completely honest. That was fucking nuts. Besides, obviously, having our podcast go for over 100 episodes, Arthur. We're at over.
Hell yeah.
This is going to be episode 126, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're keeping count.
Over 120 episodes. We have over 200 videos on YouTube. It's a combination of shorts, full episodes, and snippets. But being able to do the pod with you has been, it continues to be a huge honor and kind of creating this brand, with you and I and in church, bringing his contribution in. It's very thankful for that. That's been huge.
It's been a fun year, and like Drell knows, I talk a lot, so apologies with the Modelo or two. I talk about self a little bit more. But another thing I want to talk about your year, Drell, is you've come full circle. You are yes, you are still a PC gamer, but you are now also a console gamer. The Xbox Series S has brought you to the world of consoles.
I went back to the console. That's right.
Your Starfield machine.
Yes.
And that's the power of like first party titles. I know we talk about, we joke, we poke holes at Spider-Man. I still say I think it's absolutely connected that the main villain of Spider-Man 2, just so happens to be the main villain in the next fucking Marvel movie, so again, I won't go too much to the Spider-Man, Spider-Man shit, but I still think it's, again, the power of first parties is, we talk about how I stopped everything I was doing and looked up like Knights of the Old Republic 2. The Knights of the Old Republic remake, Star Wars Knights of the Republic remake, nearly made me stop what I was fucking doing and immediately Uber fucking to the closest Best Buy to buy a PS5.
That was crazy.
And that was Starfield for Drell. Now he's back on console. We've been playing Remnant 2. He just flexes his fucking big fucking sword and shit. And very soon we'll get to play, fucking when it eventually comes out, Space Marine 2. And it's been a fun year. It doesn't feel like it's been a year. I'm in a new fucking time zone. Fucking get to deal with weather and winter and climate for the first time in a while. But again, like you said, us doing the podcast and talking. And the funny thing is, John, about you, whenever I describe this to like people, I don't really describe it as a podcast. I describe it as this is really true. This is honest. I describe it as once a week I get together with my friends, we talk shit about games, and we happen to hit record. Because that's what it feels like. I feel like a lot of people do things for content, for clips. They overreact again, like, oh, this is a scary clip of Freddy Fazbear spooked me, so I'm gonna run out of my room like I'm 5 years old, even though I'm actually 29. Again, like just me, you in church, we talk, we argue. Again, like we're a bunch of friends just talking and arguing. We just happen to hit a big red button that says the word record on it. And that's what I like about it, because it's just like, it's not like not like I'm timid, like, oh, I have a podcast. But it's like, what do you do? It's like, I fucking talk to my friends. We just happen to hit a big red button. And that's what I like about it. Is like I said, we talk about things that we feel is real, especially the whole thing with Starfield. And, like calling out, potentially, it's like, oh, you guys are wrong. There's no hollowness in Spider-Man 2. Well, they know they won 0 fucking Game Awards. So I don't think we're alone in that shit. So, and the fact that we met in this industry, and we'll fucking flex on it. We were at the second busiest, gaming store in Southern California. That's not a fucking easy fucking challenge. And we were, I personally ran the midnight launches of our store. So having that experience, having that background, coming, with the passion that we approach this with, it's just really fun that gaming as a whole during the pandemic kept a lot of people together, kept a lot of people sane. It was the most profitable industry combined of entertainment the year that was 2020. And I'm looking forward to see where it's gonna be next year. I'm looking forward to where we're gonna be next year. I'm looking forward to what gaming is gonna be next year. I'm looking forward if the KFC console will ever fucking exist. I haven't
completely forgot about that. That's right.
Yo, my fat ass hasn't. You tell me a console can cook my food? No, I haven't fucking forgot. Like, I think hashtag never forget brings up a certain date in September. For me, hashtag never forget brings up a certain console that can cook my food. So it's, like I'm a big guy, but like, yo, elephants don't forget. Where's my fucking chicken cooker console? So I'm looking forward to, like I said, I'm looking forward to new things. I'm looking forward to, I want to see what Game Pass expands to. I want to see Drill. Maybe the day might come where maybe Cloud won't officially be in beta. Because remember, xCloud is still officially in beta. Will that end soon? It's on a TV because in our lifetime last year, there was a Samsung TV. Man, it's like $8,000 TV, but there is a product right now that you can play Xbox games on that does not require console, and that's Samsung $8,000 TV. But will we see more accessibility like it? Something we talked about previously. Is this potentially the last generation or second last generation of actual hard consoles? And I think Xbox will lead that charge. I don't think this will be the last generation of consoles. I think Nintendo would keep that going, but I really think shopping season next year for Xbox is going to look, or if not next year, let's say in the next 2 years, is going to look vastly different than it is now. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm looking forward to new and better things.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that is going to wrap up the last episode of the year for the Gamers for Life podcast. Again, each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games. Of course, thank you for everyone who's continued listening to the episodes. Be sure to follow us on Instagram so you know when the projection of the next episode will be for 2024. Might be a little bit since we're going to be celebrating. Just getting the fuck through 2023 and chilling and whatnot. So check out our content. But yeah, thank you, Arthur.
Thank you. See you next year.
Yep. All right, folks. Thank you so much. We'll see you next year.